Well, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. This is the Movie Maniac. We're going to take a look at some more 4K Blu-ray pickups that I have, and I'm excited to share these. I've been holding them for a while. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? This is the Movie Maniac here. We've got a new Blu-ray pickup video, and I'm stoked about this because these are not all just movies that came out recently. Some of them came out years ago, and I want to go ahead and just jump right into this because these are from so many different boutique labels. I think you're going to get your fix no matter who you prefer most. And up right away is going to be one from Scream Factory from years ago. This is The Thing. This one in particular, though, why did I buy this, you might wonder, as opposed to all of the other releases this film has had? For one very simple reason. So this is a new 2K scan of the Inner Positive, supervised by the DP, Dean Cundy. So I have seen a lot of screenshots from all the various different releases of The Thing. I have talked with a lot of people that own different versions of the film. There are quite a number of people who believe this, whether you want to call it color timing and whatnot, that this is the most accurate version in many fans' eyes. That's not to say if you have a different opinion and you think that the 4K looks better. In many ways, you're right. I actually think that there's a lot more detail showing up on the 4K than this. This is a 2K scan. I haven't watched it all the way through yet, but when I got it, this is how psychotic I am. I just couldn't, I knew I didn't have time to watch the movie, so I popped it in and looked through certain scenes, and it does have the color on it that does remind me a lot of when I saw it as a kid, that you guys talk about. When I saw it on TV, TNT, all of those. And it is right here, it's vivid, it has those blues, it has those pinks that we talk about in horror. This also has a decent amount of special features if that's your thing. It's got a new audio commentary from the DP. It has an old audio commentary from both John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, theatrical teaser trailers, TV spots, radio spots, still gallery, disc 2. There's new interviews. So this actually is loaded with special features, new and old. So if that's your thing, you'll also be happy with this particular release. Next up is another one from Scream Factory. It came out not too long ago, and this is the one that Ben Affleck was the bomb in, yo, Phantoms. So this has the new 4K from the original camera negative, a new scan. It includes the Blu-ray as well with that scan, which that is something that I want to see studios continue to do because we've seen a little bit of drop off from it with other boutique labels, but it's here. You got some new special features as well. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited to throw this in my collection because I've only seen it one time back when I was in middle school when it came out. I remember being surprised at how much I enjoyed it, but I never watched it since. So I'm stoked to add Phantoms to my collection. Comes with the slip here, as you guys can see, and I think it's going to look great. I've heard it actually looks pretty fantastic. We're going to hop over to a different label now. We're going to go to Kino Lorber, and this one didn't come with a slip. It arrived without one, and I know it was originally released with it, and that is The Monster Squad. Any of you who've seen this film, saw it in your childhood, you'll consider this more than likely to be an 80s classic. It's a family horror movie. It has all of those Halloween vibes that you can put on in September or October, which makes it really good. But the big reason that I actually bought this was because it's from a 4K scan of the original camera negative, the 35mm camera negative. Now, the reviews for this will tell you, because I watched the whole thing, they'll tell you that it looks amazing and it's one of the best 4K scans they've seen in a while. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have read many reviews saying this is one of the best 4K scans people have ever seen. I didn't feel that way until about the halfway part in the movie. Everything before then was very intermittent. There was a lot of shots in the houses and whatnot, in the interior locations, where I just thought it looked kind of soft. It didn't really have a lot of detail. Now, the scene where the monsters are around the swamp or they're up in the plain, that looked phenomenal. It had that depth to it and that real kind of 4K quality where things pop off of the screen. But once you get to the second half of that movie and that ultimate climax of the film, you are so immersed in this new scan. It's great. So I do recommend it, especially if you've only owned the DVD like I have. So now you're skipping the previous Blu-ray, jumping right to this. Definitely worth putting in your collection. Now, next up, I don't think this is a new scan, but roll with me here. Little Monsters. If you've seen this movie before, I remember I saw it in elementary school, and it really felt like I went on the whole journey. I remember by the time the credits rolled, I thought I had actually gone underground into this different world and popped up on the other side of the country. I won't get into all of the plot point details, but if you've seen Little Monsters, you know exactly where I'm going with this. And it does say digitally restored, so make of that what you will. Now, I haven't watched this from beginning to end on this particular release. I have seen a lot of screenshots from it, I have seen some footage of the movie, and it does look beautiful from what I've seen, so I'm super excited to watch it. Again, it does say digitally restored on the back. I'm assuming that this is new enough to where that could be a 4K scan, or it just is a really fantastic 2K scan as well. Either way, this is so good. I don't know how many people are going to be begging for a 4K release. I really love the cover art for this. It is digitally restored, so whatever that might mean, could it be a 4K scan or a 2K scan? Either way, from what I've observed, it looks like it's going to be good enough to whet people's appetite and not have everybody demanding a new 4K release for Little Monsters. If you're a fan of this or have any curiosity behind it, hey, I'd even recommend a blind purchase if you're into this kind of thing. Late 80s, kind of family horror, again, like Monster Squad, from Vestron Video. All right, next up, guys, we're gonna jump over to a label all of you are familiar with, Arrow, and that is gonna be Legend. And I'm so excited to own this because not only did I grow up loving Legend, calling it my favorite fantasy film of all time, so of course our opinions on this stuff can change, but this is one of those movies that you would just know would look glorious with a proper restoration. Now, those of you may already know the story behind this and how they had to make this happen over at Arrow, but just to give you an idea without doing some huge deep dive, I'm gonna read you exactly what it says on the back here. 2K restoration of the US theatrical cut from the original film materials, including a 4K scan of the original camera negative. You probably have some questions about that, I would imagine. I did. So here's the deal. This comes with the theatrical cut and the director's cut. Of course, I do like the new art on here as well. And if you've never seen Legend, this is probably, out of all the movies we talked about so far, like if I had to pick two at this point that you have to watch as required viewing material, probably The Thing and Legend, if I had to just pick two, as much as I love all of these. This is a terrific fantasy movie. I think it's a very underrated Ridley Scott film. This is him at his peak in the 80s. And I've seen screenshots from this. They look absolutely glorious. I can't wait to see what this looks like on my 4K TV. I've heard nothing but great reviews of this. All right, guys, so Legend is one that comes highly recommended from me. Definitely add this to your collection, especially if you're a big fan of this movie and you're just a fan of collecting Arrow video. So, from one Arrow release to another, we have Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. You might be asking, why did I get this particular release? There's been new ones since then. We've got new ones with 4K scans because this is a 2K restoration. It is approved by the DP. Once again, I will say this, I've seen side-by-side comparisons, and I do think that the 4K scan looks better. But for the price that this was, with the cool custom cover art that it has, I have a lot of faith in this particular 2K restoration. I've watched 2K restorations in the past, for example, RoboCop 2 from Scream Factory, and I thought it looked phenomenal. You couldn't tell me that that wasn't a 4K if you just walked me into a room and had it playing and said, oh yeah, check out the 4K for RoboCop 2. My eyes would never know the difference. From what I've seen of Hellraiser 2, it has that same effect, and for just the overall package and presentation of what they did here, I would be more than happy to add this to my collection because Hellraiser was not really one of those franchises like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, and all of those that really I had a strong connection with. I'm a little bit more at arm's length when it comes to Pinhead and Hellraiser. I think he's great. Oh, he's an amazing horror icon. I think the concept of these movies is terrific. I love Clive Barker, but I'm not going to go out and buy every single Hellraiser movie. But Hellraiser 2, I definitely want. So I'm super happy with this one. And keeping it in-house, we're going to jump over to another release from Arrow, and that's going to be House. And House is such a wacky movie. If you've never seen House 1 or 2, it's like a Twilight Zone episode, but then mixed with this 80s horror angle as well, with all kinds of campy humor thrown in the mix. And once again, brand new 2K restoration from the original film elements, and it looks phenomenal. So I don't want 2K restorations to ever turn any of you guys off. Do a little research into it first and see how it looks, because on a 4K TV, Again, if I walked into a room and somebody said, this looks like, they just told me that this was 4K, I would believe it. My eyes could never figure out the difference. That's how much detail and depth and clarity is in the image here for this. And of course, you can't escape the cool cover art that Arrow puts in here. House is just a fun movie. Would I recommend a blind purchase of it if you've never seen it before? If what I described sounds like your cup of tea, yes, absolutely. If not, maybe look into it first. All right, so next up is going to be from Kino Lorber, and it's going to be Death Machine. Oh man, if you've never seen Death Machine, it is such a cool movie. I'm convinced that this was secretly part of the inspiration for Paul W.S. Anderson's first Resident Evil film back in 2002. I know Aliens was also a big one, but I have a feeling if you watch this movie, there are so many similarities here. And this is actually including 3 cuts of the film. You have 2 audio commentaries. And this does, I believe this is a new scan as well. See, it comes with the slip cover here with new custom art, but I will show you this. It also has the original art as well on the back. And that original art is considered to be classic video store cover art. So if you do want to flip it around, be my guest. I have the DVD for it. I've stared at it so many times that I'm willing to roll with the new cover art. And once again, guys, I do believe this is a new scan, but I can't find any information here on the back. Maybe it's on their website. It is supposed to look phenomenal. I've read many times. I think blu-ray.com does list it as a new scan. So I haven't watched this yet, but believe me, I'm excited to get around to this. This is one of those classic B-movie films for me. And if there's one person that's happy to add it to their collection, it's the Maniac. So we've got one more, and that is going to be a steelbook. And we're going to switch studios again. Battle Beyond the Stars. So a lot of people who are getting their start in the industry that are super famous today, like James Cameron, for instance, worked on this movie. This is produced by Roger Corman. It's from New World Pictures. Now, I got to tell you guys something. I watched this recently. This seems like it would have just been one of my new favorite B movies. You got this guy going around trying to recruit these different people from different parts of the galaxy to help them in this battle. It just sounds like this was made for me. I gotta tell you, it really wasn't. I sat there, and by the end of it, I was somewhat entertained. It did its job, but there's just way too many shots that feel like literally the same shot of the spaceship you've seen a million times going from the right to left side of the frame. And I think that's what it was. It was low budget. They just worked with what they had. It is a new 2K scan to the inner positive. Once again, to avoid sounding like a broken record, I'm just going to tell you though, this really does look phenomenal. I understand that this is actually going out of print. So if you really do want this steel case of Battle Beyond the Stars, I would begin seeking it out now, because it's listed as going out of print. There's only going to be so many left remaining, and I guarantee you they're not going to reissue this again. The new one that's coming out, the 4K, I'm sure it'll be great. If you're a huge fan of the movie, go for it. If you're kind of on the fence about it, or, you know, you were like me and you've never seen it, you just want to give it a shot, I might recommend picking this one up. Have you guys watched these yet? Have you watched these versions of the films? Do you disagree with anything of what I said? Like, do you think some of these scans don't look that great? Or are you planning on upgrading from the 2K scan to the 4K one that have already been released for a lot of these? I mean, if we look back, yeah, there's already been a new 4K for The Thing. You know, there's going to be one for... is House getting a new one? I can't remember. Maybe somebody can fact check me. I thought I had read a while back that they were going to do something with House. Battle Beyond the Stars is getting a new one. So I think everything here, from what I've seen, looks phenomenal. But let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'm excited to hear what you guys have picked up from this stack, if you've watched any of them before, or if you plan on adding them to your collection. With that being said, most of you already know the drill. But for those who don't, make sure to smash that notification bell. Like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay inside the mind of a movie maniac.